If you want to make the world a better place for your daughter, the first thing you got to do is admit that you're part of the problem. That's what I did. But what does that mean? What does it mean when you're part of the problem? So I'm not a bad guy, right? No, you absolutely are not a bad guy. But it doesn't mean that you aren't holding women back at the same time. That's something that I realized. That even though I'm a nice guy, I mean, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. How do I not have some kind of blind spot or unconscious bias that puts my well-being above women's? Seems like that would very much be the case. Do I want women to succeed? Do I want my daughter to succeed? Yes, absolutely, I do. Am I or other men being a barrier to their success? I would argue yes. So if that's the case, then we are part of the problem. But before we get all defensive about it, I feel like we can actually make this an empowering thing for us, men. A friend of mine told me about a really cool 3-letter word that we all know, and that's the word and. And the word and is very relevant in this situation because you can be part of the problem and you can be part of the solution. Once I realized I could be part of the problem and part of the solution, I became a lot less defensive when I noticed things in myself that maybe didn't align with me wanting women to succeed, or when a woman, though it's not her job to educate me or point things out, but when a woman would show me of a potential blind spot that I might have, I wouldn't get all defensive and all of a sudden say, no, that's not me, I'm a good guy, you've got the wrong person. So I think it's actually pretty powerful to admit that you're part of the problem. I think once you admit you're part of the problem, you can actually start thinking about, how do I become part of the solution? That in itself, if we have more men do that, we're going to create a better future for our daughters. But guess what? Another byproduct is you start making the world a better place for women right now. Something I can get behind.